Today we're going to talk about the College Board AP Argument Rubric. There are 3 categories on this rubric. College Board calls them the reporting categories: thesis statement, evidence and commentary, which is analysis, and sophistication. These are the only 3 categories that we will be assessing you over for the AP Argument essays. However, they are quite complex, and so I will walk you through each of these reporting categories now. This is the reporting category for the thesis statement. You either earn 1 point or 0 points for a thesis statement. So think about how your teachers have assessed you in writing in the past. Typically, we will assess you and we'll say that your thesis statement is exceptional, it's A quality, or maybe it's proficient, it's B quality, or C quality. For this holistic style rubric, you either have a great thesis or you don't get a point for it at all. In order to earn the point for the thesis statement category, you need to do one of these 3 things. Notice that we set these up like little check boxes so that you can just double check yourself to see, did you complete a thesis statement in a way that will earn you that point. In order to get the point for a thesis statement, your thesis statement needs to present a defensible position, an arguable position. It needs to answer the prompt and take a position on the prompt as well. The second bullet says responds to the prompt rather than just restating the prompt. Sometimes some of you guys will, without even realizing it, you will just restate the wording that appears on the prompt. And that isn't going to work. You need to take a position. What is your opinion regarding the prompt that is being asked? So there has to be something original in that thesis statement in addition to the rephrasing of the verbiage that they've already provided. And the third bullet point kind of hits on that as well. If you do not have an arguable thesis, the sky is blue, well, that might not be arguable in the context of your essay. If you just restate the prompt, you also will not earn the point. If you provide summary of the issue, but you don't have anything arguable, that's also a 0 points. If you have a great arguable thesis statement, but it's actually not talking about the prompt at hand, that's an issue. You wouldn't earn the thesis point. So there's a lot of ways not to earn the thesis point. Really, the best ways to earn the thesis point are to make sure that your thesis statement is answering the question in the prompt that is being asked, and also that your thesis statement is arguable, that you're taking a position on the prompt issue in an arguable fashion. You might notice up here in the dark gray that it says that the thesis statement may appear anywhere in the essay. That is a real pet peeve of the AP Lang teachers here at Alpharetta High School and elsewhere. Our expectation is that your thesis statement appears in the introduction paragraph of your essay. It can appear anywhere, but think about a verbal argument that you're having with a peer or a parent or an administrator at school. If you're having a verbal discussion, an argument by definition, meaning that you are stating your position, you're supporting it logically with some kind of evidence, and that you're reasoning out your ideas, you're explaining. If you're doing that in a verbal argument, it's not helpful to start out with all the evidence and then halfway through your verbal argument, then you make your thesis or state what you're trying to argue for. Think about this in terms of a verbal argument. You want to be really clear verbally or written what you're about to argue. In other words, if you wait until too late in the argument to tell readers or listeners what you're arguing for, your argument might actually be ineffective and fall flat. So while College Board tells us that it can appear anywhere in the essay to earn the point, overall, your argument will be far weaker and it'll probably ultimately end up in a lower score in the other reporting categories if you don't include the thesis statement up front. So for AP Lang here at Alpharetta, we are going to include our thesis statements right in the introductory paragraph, letting the reader know pretty quickly into the essay what the argument is. The second reporting category is evidence and commentary. This category has a lot of words, but stick with me, I'm going to walk you through. You can earn between 0 and 4 points for this category. Evidence and also analysis, or commentary as the College Board calls it. They lump together evidence and analysis for all of the College Board AP Lang rubrics now because they kind of go together. But you'll notice that the point values are quite a bit higher than the thesis statement. You can earn 4 points in this category versus the thesis is only 1. So they are giving you credit for doing a lot. So I'm going to walk you through what it takes to earn a perfect 4-point evidence and commentary category. The first bullet right here says that you would be providing specific evidence that supports your claims in a line of reasoning. That means in an essay, you would have multiple body paragraphs and you would provide multiple pieces of evidence. Remember, evidence for the AP argument essay comes straight from your brain. And to earn the 4, that means that you are providing specific examples, very specific pieces of evidence that help to prove your argument. If your argument is all about why chocolate is the best food, but your evidence is all about hand sanitizer, then it's not going to be evidence that helps to support your argument, helps to support the claims, or helps to support and connect then to your analysis. The second bullet says consistently explains how the evidence supports the line of reasoning. The second bullet point is really analysis. How well do you explain the connection between the evidence and the claim? The third bullet says uniformly offers evidence to support claims, meaning that you provide evidence in every single body paragraph at least one time in every body paragraph. The fourth bullet point says focuses on the importance of specific details to build an argument. In other words, broad generalities aren't going to help strengthen your argument. You need to provide very specific examples, specific instances for the evidence, and then again in the analysis, the commentary, be specific in your insight and your reasoning as well. And the last and final bullet says organizes and supports an argument as a line of reasoning composed of multiple supporting claims, each with adequate evidence that is clearly explained. If you haven't yet realized, a lot of these bullet points overlap, and that is on purpose. And so really what we're looking for to earn the 4 out of 4 in this category is, do you provide quality, specific evidence that clearly supports your claims in your body paragraph, which clearly connect back to the thesis statement and the prompt? And do you reason through, analyze that evidence, and then also reason through the claim, whatever you're arguing in that body paragraph? Earning a 3 in this category is pretty common. Essentially, earning a 3, it means that you're doing all of these things. You just might not be doing them quite as well as you did with the 4 in order to earn the 4 points. So an example of that, commentary may fail to integrate some of the evidence or fail to support a key claim. So this last bullet under the 3-point category is essentially saying you had analysis, you had commentary, but it might be a little bit limited. There might be some areas where you could have developed and expanded quite a bit more. Now, when we jump to the 2-point, the 2 points for this reporting category, a lot of the verbiage changes. If you earn the 2 out of 4 for this category, that means that you provide some relevant evidence, but maybe not in every paragraph, or maybe it's only good in some paragraphs. Maybe it's only quality and supporting in some paragraphs. Your line of reasoning may be faulty. In other words, you might have some fallacies appearing within your argument, your reasoning or your analysis. There's a problem with the logic and the reasoning. Consists of a mix of specific evidence and broad generalities. If you say like, I saw on the news a story about a girl who had some adversity. Okay, that's not a specific example, and that very broad general example isn't actually going to help bolster the claim that you're proving. May contain some simplistic, inaccurate, or repetitive explanations that don't strengthen the argument. So your analysis repeats itself. It's not helping your argument as a whole to be stronger. May make 1 point well, but either does not make multiple supporting claims or does not adequately support the claim. Same thing here. Maybe one body paragraph makes a strong argument, but the other body paragraph just falls completely flat. Maybe it's not on prompt. The evidence is off. The claim is not arguable. There's so many issues that would get you the 2 out of 4. You'll notice here that to get a 1 out of 4, your evidence is super general. Maybe in your analysis, instead of providing insight or reasoning to explain your argument, you just summarize. And then again, more summary in the 3rd bullet. It's pretty tough to earn a 0 or a 1 in this category, but it can happen. Finally, the 0, this I've only seen happen once in 6 years. Simply restates the thesis, is an incoherent essay, is totally off prompt. There's no evidence, just opinion. It's pretty impressive to earn that 0. And so for this category, there are 4 total possible points. And the 3rd category on the rubric is called sophistication. And you can earn 1 or none, just like with the thesis point. What I tell my students is that the sophistication category is hitting on 2 things. Do you have sophisticated ideas in your skull? And do you use sophisticated language on the page? So College Board says that you do some of the following, and then they provide 4 options for sophistication. I'll tell you guys right now, it is really, really hard to get the sophistication point on this rubric. I would say at least 80% of my students regularly do not earn the sophistication point. This is a hard point to earn. To earn the sophistication point, you have to do some. I always tell my students at least half of these 4 things. And like I said before, you're discussing essentially the complexities of the argument, sophisticated ideas, or sophisticated language. The first 2 items, numbers 1 and 2, are about sophistication of ideas. Do you really develop the complexities of the argument, the tensions of the argument? Do you articulate the implications or limitations of the argument or the prompt? Do you situate the argument within a broader context, talk about why the argument that you're making matters in the bigger scheme of the world? And then finally, numbers 3 and 4 on here, all about sophistication of language. Do you make effective choices within your writing to strengthen what you're saying in terms of sentence structure, word choice? Do you use those tools to help make your argument stronger? And finally, employing a style that is consistently vivid and persuasive. Again, very few students earn this sophistication point. It's something that we're going to work really hard at all year long to achieve. And so that is the rubric. These are the 3 categories that we'll be assessing you on. We'll be looking at thesis, evidence, and commentary, and sophistication. If you do the math right now, you will realize that thesis is 1 point, evidence and commentary is 4, and sophistication is 1. So we will be scoring you this year out of 6. You might earn a 4 out of 6 or a 3 out of 6. Earning a 6 out of 6 from the get-go at the beginning of the school year is nearly impossible. And so we are going to look now at some sample essays, and we're going to practice scoring these sample essays using this College Board AP Lang 6-point rubric. Hopefully by seeing how some other students have written the AP argument essay in order to score well, it will inspire you to do some things maybe differently within your own pieces. Okay, so let's look at some exemplars.